Welcome back to Shane and me. Hey kids, where did we stop the last session? Yes, Peter Rabbit escaped from the Hooty the Owl. Okay, let's start the session. Chapter 5 In the Old Pasture. Brambles never scratch those who understand and are considerate of them. Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit sat under a friendly bramble bush on the edge of the old pasture and panted for breath, while his heart went pitter pat, as if it would thump its way right through his sides. Peter had had a terrible fright. There were long tears in his coat, and he smarted and ached dreadfully where the cruel claws of Hooty the Owl had torn him. And there he was in a strange place, not knowing which way to turn, for he never had visited the old pasture before. But Peter had had so many narrow escapes in his life that he had learned not to worry over dangers that are past. Peter is what wise men call a philosopher. That is a big word, but its meaning is very simple. A philosopher is one who believes that it is foolish to think about things that have happened, except to learn some lesson from them, and that the best thing to do is to make the most of the present. Peter had learned his lesson. He was sure of that. I never will forget again to watch out for Hooty the Owl, said he to himself as he nursed his wounds, and so perhaps it is a good thing that he so nearly caught me this time. If he hadn't, I might have forgotten all about him sometime when he could catch me. I certainly wouldn't have watched out for him way up here, for I didn't think he ever came up to the old pasture. But now I know he does. Mr. Hooty have to be smarter than he's ever been before to catch me napping again. My, how I do smart and ache. I know now just how Danny Meadow Mouse felt that time Hooty caught him and dropped him into the old briar patch. Ouch! Well, as my mother used to say, yesterday has gone away. Make the most of just today. Here I am up in the old pasture, and the question is, what shall I do next? Peter felt a queer little thrill as he peeped out from under the friendly bramble bush. Very strange and wonderful it seemed. Of course, he couldn't see very far because the old pasture was all overgrown with bushes and briars, and they made the very black set of black shadows in the moonlight. Peter wondered what dangers might be awaiting him there, but somehow he didn't feel much afraid. No, sir, he didn't feel much afraid. You see, those briars looked good to him, for briars are always friendly to Peter and unfriendly to those who would do harm to Peter. So, when he saw them, he felt almost at home. Peter drew a long breath. Then he cried, "Ouch!" You see, he had forgotten for a minute how sore he was. He was eager to explore this new wonderland, for Sammy Jay had told him wonderful tales about it. And he knew that here old Granny Fox and Reddy Fox had found safety when Farmer Brown's boy had hunted for them so hard on the green meadows and in the green forest. He felt sure that they must be the most splendid hiding places, and it seemed as if he certainly must start right out to see them. For Peter is very curious. But the very but the first move he made brought another ouch from him, and he made up a very face. I guess the best thing for me to do is to stay right where I am, said he, for here I am safe under this friendly old bramble. So, with a sigh, Peter settled down to make himself as comfortable as he could And once, as far, far away on the green meadows, he heard the voice of Old Man Coyote. Peter even smiled. I haven't anything to fear from him anyway, for he'll never think of coming way up here, said he. Chapter 6. Peter Rabbit is still lonesome. A sympathetic word or two of wondrous help is when you are blue. So pity him who sits alone, his aches and troubles to bemoan. Peter Rabbit. All the rest of that night, Peter sat under a friendly old bramble bush on the edge of the old pasture and nursed the sore places made by the claws of Hooty the Owl. At last, jolly, round, red Mr. Sun began to climb up in the blue, blue sky, just as he does every day. Peter looked up at him and he felt sure that Mr. Sun winked at him. Somehow it made him feel better. The fact is, Peter was beginning to feel just a wee bit homesick. It is bad enough to be in a strange place alone, but to be sure and to smart and ache as Peter did makes that lonesome feeling a whole lot harder to bear. It is dreadful not to have anyone to speak to, but to look around and not see a single thing you have ever seen before. My, it certainly does give you a strange sinking feeling way down inside. Before that long night was over, Peter felt as if his heart had gone away down to his very toes. Yes, sir, that's the way he felt. Every time he moved at all, he cried, ouch. He just knew that he was growing more stiff and sore every minute. Then he began to wonder what he should do for something to eat, for he was in a strange place, you remember. And that made him think of all his private little paths through the dear old briar patch, the little paths he had made all himself and which no one used but himself, excepting Danny Meadow Mouse when he came for a visit. Perhaps I shall never see them again, mourned Peter, and two big tears filled his eyes and were just ready to drop. At that moment he looked up and saw jolly, round, red Mr. Sun wink. Peter tried to wink back, and that made the two tears fall, but there were no more tears to follow. You see, that wink had made all the difference in the world. Peter's heart had jumped right back where it belonged. Mr. Sun was one of his oldest friends, and you know, when trouble comes, a friendly face makes bright the very darkest place. And so, just as he made bright all the old pasture, Mr. Sun also made bright the dark little corners in Peter's heart, just because he was an old friend. To be sure, Peter was still lonesome, but it was a different kind of lonesomeness. He hadn't anybody to talk to, which is always a dreadful thing to Peter. But he had only to look up to catch a friendly wink, and somehow that not only made him feel better inside, but it seemed to make his aches and smarts better too. Chapter 7. Peter Finds Tracks. Every day is different from every other day, and always there is something new to see along the way. Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit had sat still just as long as he could. He was stiff and lame and sore from the wounds made by Hooty the Owl, but his curiosity wouldn't let him sit still a minute longer. He just had to explore the old pasture, so with many a weary face and many an ouch, he limped out from the shelter of the friendly old bramble bush and started out to see what the old pasture was like. Now Hooty the Owl had taught Peter wisdom. With his torn clothes and his aches and smarts, he couldn't very well forget to be careful. First, he made sure that there was no danger near, and this time he took pains to look all around the sky as well as on the ground. Then he limped out to the very patch of sweet clover where Hooty had so nearly caught him the night before. A good breakfast, said Peter. We'll make a new rabbit of me. You know, Peter thinks a great deal of his stomach, so he began to eat as fast as he could, stopping every other mouthful to look and listen. I know it's a bad habit to eat fast, said he, but it's a whole lot worse to have an empty stomach. So he ate and ate and ate as fast as he could make his little jaws go, which is very fast indeed. When Peter's stomach was stuffed full, he gave a great sigh of relief and limped back to the friendly old bramble bush to rest. But he couldn't sit still longer, for he just had to find out all about the old pasture. So pretty soon he started out to explore. Such a wonderful place as it seemed to Peter. There were clumps of bushes with little open spaces between. Just the nicest kind of playgrounds. Then there were funny spreading prickly juniper trees, which made the very safest places to crawl out of harm's way and to hide. Everywhere were paths made by cows. Very wonderful they seemed to Peter, who had never seen any like them before. He liked to follow them because they led to all kinds of queer places. Sometimes he would come to places where tall trees made him think of the green forest, only there were never more than a few trees together. Once he found an old tumble down stone wall all covered with vines, and he shouted right out with delight. It's a regular castle, cried Peter, and he knew that there he would be safe from everyone but Shadow the Weasel. But he never was wholly safe from Shadow the Weasel anyway, so he didn't let that thought worry him. By and by he came to a wet place called a swamp. The ground was soft and there were little pools of water. Great ferns grew here just as they did along the bank of the Laughing Brook, only more of them. There were pretty birch trees and wild cherry trees. It was still and dark and oh so peaceful. Peter liked that place and sat down under a big fern to rest. He didn't hear a sound excepting the beautiful silvery voice of Veery the thrush. Listening to it, Peter fell asleep, for he was very tired. By and by, Peter awoke. For a minute, he couldn't think where he was. Then he remembered, but for a long time he sat perfectly still, thinking of his adventures and wondering if he would be missed down on the green meadows. Then all of a sudden Peter saw something that made him sit up so suddenly that he cried, "Ouch!" for he had forgotten all about how stiff and sore he was. What do you think Peter saw? Tracks? Yes, sir, he saw tracks, rabbit tracks in the soft mud, and Peter knew that he hadn't made them. Hey kids, this time only 3 chapters because this video is going too lengthy and you people may get bored. Okay, let's see next video. Thank you for watching.